On the committee with me, my backbone is going to be Elspeth Moore, because all the things she knows I'm going to have to learn. But she's our council chair is from 16A is our representative. Rosemary Townend is our representative from 16B. She's our vice district governor. Dick Indiviri is our 16C representative on the committee. Bob Bergadamo is our 16D representative. And even though you have a council chairperson, it's always nice to have a little bit higher up there. So we retained Stanley Grossman, who was willing enough to reassign himself back to our committee. So those round out in our 5 coordinators that we have throughout the state. During this particular year, it's kind of a transition year. And LCIF said, please don't go out and beat them up for more money. We really don't want you to beat them up, because they're still working on their pledges from Site First 2. Some clubs had a 3-year pledge, some clubs had a 5-year pledge. They've got another year or so to go on their pledges. So they said, we really need to thank them for helping us to do what we want to do in raising $200 million. From Site First 2, and that $200 million that we helped to raise, it's actually a little bit higher than that, 37 million people around the world are going to have their sight restored or blindness prevented from the efforts that you here have made in New Jersey. And that's one of the greatest things about being a Lion. You can contribute a little, but you can have such an amazing impact. A lot of you may or may not know that cataract surgeries in third world countries through LCIF cost a small $6. How much did anybody here who had a cataract surgery pay? Over 1,000. So we get to wield a lot of power and help a lot of people in other countries because of what we contribute around the world. So it's an amazing thing that for the next 15 years, we already saved 37 million people's sight from Site First 1. And now we're going to do the same thing for the next 15 years or 20 years through Site First 2. So that's an amazing part of what we do. And when you go out and people say to you, what do you do? Please don't answer, we serve. Because you've actually told them absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They don't know what you do. And a lot of people, they talk about their fundraisers. Well, we do the pancake breakfast, and we have the carnival, and we have whatever. People don't necessarily want to join because you have a carnival or you do a pancake breakfast. They can go to IHOP for that, for pancakes, okay? But when they hear that you're saving sight for 37 million people and you've got this huge goal, you've already had a major campaign to fund it, this is a fantastic way of getting people involved and using the information, what LCIF does, how it gives you the ambulances, or it gives you the houses or buildings at some of our camps, or we get the vans to get people around, and all the other things that you've used it for. 16D has gotten probably more money for floods than any other group that we've had. Even the Wayne area, Patterson area, Passaic County doesn't get as much flood money as they do in 16D over the years. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. The amazing thing for me is that this time, not unlike the first campaign, $50 million of that 200 plus that we donated is actually going to be able to be used for research in developed countries like ours, so we can attack things like retinitis pigmentosa and doing macular degeneration and trying to find cures, not just treatments, but cures for it. And we've got more pharmaceutical companies for eyes in New Jersey than they have around the world anywhere. So if they're going to find a cure, it's going to come out of New Jersey. If we get some of this money to get funneled into that research, we can actually say we had a part of that. And that's going to be a fantastic thing because it affects so many people. During next year, July 1's only around the corner, that's next year, what LCIF is asking the committees to do around the world is to expand the giving that you have had in the past. Normally, a normal year for Lions to donate is $20 million to LCIF, to their general fund. They're asking the committees to expand that around through the world and get that number up to $30 million by 2012. And that's a easily enough attainable goal through a lot of different things. as I said this afternoon, we have a number of people here who are Melvin Jones Fellows. They already have their first fellowship. People realize, and they say to me, well, you know, what's that pin over there? And I look at it very proudly, and it says 7 progressive Melvin Jones. And somebody said, well, why do you have to have so many? I said, I don't. I really don't need them. But I believe enough in LCIF that I want to contribute so I can do my share to help the people around the world and the people in the United States get their sight restored or blindness reversed. So I don't feel bad now when I go to somebody else and I say to them, I want you to contribute to LCIF. I want you to become a progressive Melvin Jones or contributing member so you give more money. And if we all give $20 or $50 a month, a quarter, or whatever, we'll be at $20 million, the extra $10 million will be there because we're all following through with the belief of what we like to do with LCIF. So I think it's a very doable thing. But I wouldn't be bashful to walk around the room with a hat right now and tell every one of you, empty your pocket in here because I have, I am, and I still will be. So be careful when I come down these. You too, Sal. You know, you might be bigger than me, but I'll get the wallet out of you. Okay. No, I want her credit cards. I just want her credit cards. Okay, especially that American Express. One of the things that's been asked of us on the committee a number of times is that we've contributed a lot of money to Haiti relief for the earthquake, and to Chile and things like that. And people are saying, where's that money going, and what's really LCIF doing with it? One of our past governors and one of my committee members wrote me a 2.5-page email, small print too, complaining because he's out there asking for the money, but he didn't know where it was going, what was happening. At this point, over $4 million has been spent by LCIF for immediate needs, for the food and the blankets and the water and beds and clothing for the kids and things like that. The rest of the money, I'm not going to say they're sitting on it, but they have a plan so once the government in Haiti starts getting its act together where items can be moved around and people can have houses built and equipment can get from one place to another, that they will then be able to start building buildings for the kids and building orphanages to take care of all those kids, just like we did in the tsunami. So the plan is that we're going to be there for a while. And I can guarantee you that we will be there after every other service organization has already left town. We'll be there doing what we did with the tsunami 5 years later and still helping the kids in the orphanages and building them to schools and educating them so they can have a decent life. And that's where the money's going to end up with from our LCIF program. I only have 37 pages more. And it's probably the only joke that I actually have that's going to work tonight. So, it's a long story about that, but I've never been a good joke teller. So thank God Jim Hines is in the room, because whenever I need somebody to break up the ice, I call on Jim for a joke, because I can't read it off a postcard and get it right. Okay, a couple of quick things before I get off the microphone. 1968, the LCIF program started. Since that time, the Lions of New Jersey have donated a little over $3 million into LCIF. What do you think we got back? How about $1,266,000, or roughly half of it, we've gotten back in grants to do our projects here in New Jersey. And someone brought up the fact that the number does end in 58 cents, and as